So today I'm working on my vintage Nishiki, and today I thought I'd show you guys how to replace a nutted axle for a quick release one. So here you can see my front nutted axle. Nutted axles are really great for security and strength, but they're really convenient if you just want to remove the front wheel quickly. So I've got the new one here that I just ordered on Amazon for a couple bucks. It's not that expensive. You can get higher end ones, but for this bike, this will do. So the first thing you want to do is just remove the wheel. So here I'm just releasing the brake so you can actually drop the wheel off, and then obviously breaking the nuts loose to drop the wheel out. So here you can kind of get a better view of the new axle we're going to put in and the old axle we're going to remove. So I'm going to start by just unscrewing the nut from one side, and then underneath that you'll have a lock nut, which I'm just undoing with a wrench. And then below that you'll have a cone nut. So ideally you'd want to use a cone wrench for this. I don't have one, a regular wrench will work. So I'm just unscrewing that, and then I can pull the whole axle out. So you can see here with the axle removed, you can see straight through the hub of the front wheel. With the hub removed, this is also a really good time to check your bearings. So you can just remove the dust cover and then just take a look inside and see how your bearings look. Count them, make sure they're all there, check to make sure they're not damaged, see how the grease looks, that sort of thing. I've just done my wheel bearings recently, so I know they're good, so I'm just going to put this back on, but if yours need work, it's a good time to service that. So here I just have everything laid out on the table, the old axle on the left and the new one on the right. Just taking apart all the new components so we can compare the two and see what we're going to use. So straight away, looking at the cone nuts, the cone nut that came on the new axle looks like it's not going to fit. It's a totally different size, so I'm actually going to reuse the original one. I'm just going to thread it onto the new axle and see if it fits, which it does. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and slide in the new axle with the original cone nut still on it. And I'm just going to slide that through the hub, making sure not to knock out any of the bearings that are held in just by grease. Once that's in, I can start screwing on the other cone nut, just by hand for now until I get it roughly tight with my hands. While you're doing this, it's important to make sure that you have equal distance of the axle sticking out on either side. So in my case, I have just over 1 centimeter on both sides, which is good. Now with those cone nuts pretty much in place where they need to be, I'm just going to lightly tighten on these lock nuts by hand, not tightening them fully yet. Now this is where you really want a cone wrench. I don't have one, so I'm just using a pair of needle nose pliers to grip the cone nut, make sure it doesn't move while I tighten down the lock nut. It's really important that the cone nut doesn't get any tighter than how we've set it. And I'm just doing the same to the other side here. Now I've got the through axle skewer, and I'm going to slide on one of the springs, and then slide that through the new axle that we just installed. I'm going to flip the tire over, and then do the same thing. Put the spring on, and then tighten on the nut on the other side. And I'm just tightening this down just until the skewer pokes out the end. Now with the bike upside down, I'm going to reinstall the wheel, making sure the lever is located on the non-drive side of the bike, and just using gravity to drop this wheel into place. I'm just going to tighten the lever down, just until there's a bit of resistance, back off a little bit, and then firmly press it down. Then just give your wheel a spin and make sure everything runs smoothly just like it did before. And then lastly, if you disconnected anything like brakes like I did, make sure you reconnect those before you take the bike out again. And now in less than an hour, you have a fully converted bolted axle to quick release. This was a really easy upgrade you can do on any bike, especially older bikes. It's useful to take the wheel off to do either a repair or put it on a bike rack or something like that. I hope this walkthrough was helpful, and if it was, let me know how it went doing this conversion on your own bike. I'll see you next time.